Today I want to talk about Irreversible, the 2001 thriller by French director Gaspar Noé, and I just want to share a few insights that I got from that movie with you. The film is about the consequences of making emotional decisions. Pierre and Alex are Alex's mind. Pierre is the rational thinker and Marcus follows his basic drives and impulses. Pierre's habit of thinking rationally turns Alex off because thinking conflicts with her feelings. This is cognitive dissonance. For Marcus, who represents her basic drives, such as her emotions, impulses, appetites, sex drive, and need for immediate gratification. Between Pierre and Marcus, she chooses Marcus's side of her personality and suffers the consequences for it later. The film is told in two parts. The first part of the film focuses on the decisions Marcus makes after finding out that Alex has been raped. The second part of the film focuses on Alex and the decisions she makes prior to being raped. The first or second act of the film shows Pierre, the critical thinker, pleading with Marcus, who seeks the man who raped his girlfriend. The unstable camera movement reflects Marcus's state of mind. He assaults a cab driver, steals the cab, and assaults a prostitute who allegedly saw his girlfriend's assailant. But even though Marcus is irrational, he is leading Pierre, the thinker, which also serves as a metaphor of the predominant power our emotions exercise over our ability to think rationally. Matthew 26, verse 41. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Eventually, Marcus's wrath leads him to hell, or in this case, a gay S&M club called the Rectum, where he assaults the wrong man who gets the upper hand and attempts to rape him. Luckily, Pierre bashes the would-be rapist's head in with a fire hydrant. In the second or first act of the film, Marcus's promiscuous conduct at a party where he gropes and flirts with other women, snorts coke, and drinks alcohol upsets Alex. Pierre pleads with her not to leave alone, but she insists on doing so anyway. Her first mistake is leaving the party upset and emotional and going home by herself, distracted and unaware of her surroundings. Then, instead of waiting on a taxi, which would have been safer, she takes bad advice from some woman on the street who tells her that the subway is safer. Again, not using good judgment. Her second mistake. It is also worth noting that the subway entrance is right outside of the apartment, which means that the tunnel where she is raped is directly underneath the building she just left. Another parallel between Alex and Marcus is where their emotions lead them. In Marcus's case, his emotions take him to the rectum. In Alex's case, her emotions take her to the subway tunnel. In both of these places, the subway tunnel and the S&M nightclub, both of those places are red, representing hell and violence. In both cases, an emotion or external agents, drugs, alcohol, and cocaine at the party separates the character's mind from reality. Alex leaving Pierre for Marcus represents her giving in to the animal side of her nature. This is characterized by her dancing seductively with two women, and further characterized when she accuses Pierre of thinking too much instead of letting himself go, which is what she does in choosing to leave him and to be with Marcus. When the three are together on the subway, Alex says to Pierre love is selfish. When making love, a person thinks about his own pleasure rather than his partner's. The selfish paradigm in this statement comes back to bite her when she sees Marcus acting like an animal at the party, drinking alcohol, snorting coke, and fondling other women. Prescience is also a major theme in this film, and here are some examples. Marcus wakes up complaining about numbness in his right arm, which is broken later in the film. And Alex has a dream that describes her rape later in the film. Alex's emotional decisions puts her in the position to be raped. Marcus's anger puts him in a similar position where he himself would have been raped if not for Pierre saving him. Alex is sodomized, foreshadowing the name of the S&M club called the Rectum. At the end or beginning of the film, Alex sits underneath a poster of Stanley Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey, describing the film as the ultimate trip. In the following or previous scene, there's a background song about space travel. The film also begins in outer space. And lastly, Alex is pregnant in the final scene of the film. Later, she finds out she is pregnant as a result of a pregnancy test. Now, this last example, you can take it any way that you want, but what I believe is that Alex was impregnated by aliens. The baby was taken from her. Her memory was completely wiped away, and later she became pregnant by Marcus. That's my interpretation of this great film. And whether or not you agree with it, one thing I think that we will agree is that this is one of the most stunning films, most shocking films, the most violent films ever made. And I say that if you are watching this video and you have not seen that movie. And, I also say that as a disclaimer that you have been warned. But in any case, it is a great example of avant-garde French filmmaking by, director Gaspar Noé. And I appreciate you watching this video. And I would appreciate it also if you would leave me a like. And in the description, you will find a link going to my blog where I go in depth on other films, such as the video that I did here on this film, Irreversible. Again, thank you, and I'll see you next time.